Hello everybody, welcome back to the e-learning space of MGM Higher Secondary School, Bokaro. This is the first video for your grammar lesson number 9 of class 8 English. Lesson number 9 is titled Auxiliary Verbs. Let us understand what are auxiliary verbs, what are their different types with examples and their usage. An auxiliary verb is a verb that changes or helps another verb. So its nature is helping nature. Here is a list of some auxiliary verbs. Be in its all form: am, are, is, was, were, being, can, could, do, did, does, doing. Have in all its form: had, has, having. May, might, must, shall, should, will, would. Examples: he has done the work. We will be there in a minute. Would you help me with this homework? Can you open the door? Did you visit New York last holiday? Do you like chocolates? They must get there on time. All these are auxiliary verbs and they help the main verb in forming the rest of the sentences. Now these helping verbs are of two main types: primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. And this is what we are going to discuss here today. What are primary auxiliary verbs? Primary means you can say main helping verbs. Auxiliary helping. So the main helping verbs are those verbs which are used to express only the tense. These are words like be, have and do. When they're used in clauses, they make sentences like I am eating bread, they have eaten bread, you do eat bread. Primary auxiliaries can also work as main verbs. Look at the examples here. I am happy to see these names included. I have a new life now and new friends. We do things that are controversial. So basically, main helping verbs are those verbs which exist in a clause to complete the sentence by helping the main verbs. And they can also exist independently as main verbs, as in the sentences like I am happy. So here is a flowchart. These are auxiliary verbs. They are helper verbs. What do they help? They help the main verb. Look at the example to be. Their forms are am, is, are, was, were. And the sentences are I am playing football, he is reading a book, they are learning English, he was sleeping in the class, you were eating lunch. So these are the different forms of to be. Now coming to the other part of the auxiliary verbs, which are modal verbs like may, can, to have. May is used to seek permission. For example, may I go to the bathroom? Can is used to show ability. Can they speak English? And to have has three different forms: have, has and had, depending on the tense, the number and the person. They have gone out, it has gone outside, it had gone away. So this is basically a flow chart to guide you to the different forms of auxiliary verbs and their examples. The main modals are shall, should, may, might, must, can, could, will, would. Why are these modals used? What are the uses of these different kinds of modals? Let us understand it. Look at the definition of a modal auxiliary verb. They are a part of the verbal phrase. Look at the sentence. I must get there before 7 o'clock. As we can see, the main verb here is get, and it has been assisted by another helping verb must, which is a modal helping verb. Why is it used? It is adding an abstract meaning like an obligation or permission or advice, among others. So these modal verbs basically add an abstract meaning and they help the main verb to complete the sentence. Let us understand what are modal verbs in a bit detail. They are auxiliary verbs that provide additional and specific meaning to the main verb of the sentence. Modal verbs are sometimes referred to as modal auxiliary verbs because they help other words. Now here are the examples of different kinds of modal verbs and when they are used. For example, can is used to show ability, doubt, astonishment, permission, polite, or request. May is used to seek permission or to show supposition or doubt or not prohibition. Must is used to show obligation, some kind of necessity, some kind of logic or conclusion, and even probability. Shall is used to show intentions and suppositions. Will is used to show wishes, desires, confidence, or something that will be done in the future. Ought to shows moral duty, insistent advice, strict recommendation, and need shows necessity. Have to shows unwillingness or some kind of forced circumstances. Would is basically a kind of wishing. It can be used to show polite request or a habit of the past as well. Using them in examples will help you understand these modal verbs better. That brings us to the end of our video for auxiliary verbs, that are primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. Thank you and take care.